Zareth Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the north, general of the Felix legions, loyal servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and he will have his vengeance, in this life or the next. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Speaks Blasphemy. As in, I am not Maximus from Gladiator, so sorry about that if that offends people. Not too sorry though. I thought it was fun to just totally usurp that. I don't know. Anyways, guys, my alt has been in AURODIUM now. This is the second season, and I started in AURODIUM 4. I jumped to AURODIUM 2. That was too much, and we just got stonewalled. And then I did manage to find some measure of equilibrium in AURODIUM 3, and now we're at 3.7 million, and we have one more team than we had last season. So huge improvements, though in reality we kind of have 20 in a way, so we're going to talk about that. I just want to remind you two different things to remind you. First off, there is there's been released an alternate accounts video, for my alt account, for my for my Professor X account. This account that we're going to be talking about is Prevail Man, but Professor X has I did do a 26 team overview of the teams that he's going to be using, so check that out. If you missed it already, it'll be linked in the video description, and then of course there's going to be this for my 3.7 million. So this team, this account, I have to stretch my roster in a lot of really weird and uncomfortable ways, and to be able to, we have to account for 18 total teams, 9 on offense, 9 on defense, at the very minimum. So 19 teams is what we have, and I'll show you guys kind of what we're doing. Don't expect anything too crazy. I mean, it is all crazy, actually. Like, none of it's that strong looking. It's all very frail. It's all about how you use it. And people say that that's the most interesting account of mine to watch, because we're doing some really weird things with it, because I can't compete with people. I'm at 3.7, and I consistently face people at 5 or 6 million GP, even 7 million. And so how do you face that and beat some of these guys? I ended up with a winning record last season, I believe, or at least a 6-6 record. I forget what it was for this account. How do we do it? Let's find out. I'll tell you. The other thing I want to remind you guys is, if you want to support the channel for free, I would appreciate you guys helping me mount the algorithm. Hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment, hit the sub button, something like that. I would really appreciate it, guys. Helps to grow the channel and ensure that we get fresh new content daily, like I've been doing for a while now. So without further ado, let's jump in. Here's the teams that we've got, folks. So we'll start with the stronger teams, because I just used the unique checkmark here, so that we could guarantee that we're not double dipping. I think there might be one team that we're double dipping on, which I'll point out when we get to it. So no Galactic Legends on this account, no Executor. We're pretty bare bones here. We're working on both of those things a little bit, but we've got Commander Luke. This is maybe my best squad, which is really sad in a lot of ways. Relic 5 on everyone, and it can beat it. This is kind of my fallback squad. It can do damage to any of the teams that I'm going to be facing, but it kills General Skywalker teams, which a lot of people like to place against me, and then people get mad when they're like, you don't have a team that beats General Skywalker. I'm like, dude, I practically wrote the guide on how to beat General Skywalker with Commander Luke. I don't know if I wrote it, but I've made several guides. Well, anyways, maybe not several guides. Let's just move on. I've beat that team so many times, though, and gone through so many different iterations. It feels like I wrote all the guides, let's just say that. Anyways, it beats General Skywalker teams. It can kind of beat Darth Revan teams if they can one-shot Basti, Sean Fallen, which is tougher than you might realize. It does a lot of cool stuff, guys. It's a workhorse team, and it does a lot of work, as you might imagine. So yeah, it's also you get fleets from it, at least from Han and Chewie. You get the one of the better ships in the game. All right, we've got Darth Revan team here, guys, and the biggest update from last season was we didn't have Darth Maul. So this is what I was saying. I said we have 19 teams, but we really kind of have 20 in a way, because if I want to, and I haven't decided what I want to do yet. The problem is we can't scout on this account as much as I would like to. I talked about that in my alt video as well, in my Professor X. I just don't have the time to scout 3 different opponents and come up with a unique, cool, varied defense, because you have to move. You have so many different moving parts to try to account for and everything. But if I were to take this squad on offense, it actually would end up probably being just Darth Revan and Basti hanging out together and getting some really good banners, and then Darth Malak soloing another team. Like a Padme team, he's probably up to it. Even at Relic 3, he probably solos any Padme team out there currently that I am likely to face. The only problem is there's not another team on my roster that produces the kind of defensive results that Darth Revan with Malak can produce right now at this moment. You want to make Darth Revan fast as he can go, sir. Of course, you don't put a speed arrow on him with 6E, because why would you? It's all, it's only 2 extra speed. He's not super duper fast, but this is fast enough in AURODIUM to cause some issues. And if people don't know what they're doing, they can really break their roster on this team. I like him on defense a lot. On offense, I probably will take him on offense some this season. You guys can see what I mean. Darth Revan and Basti create this really awesome tandem. They do some really dirty work together. It's fun, and not like the rated R kind of dirty work either. Unless it's for violence, in which case it's probably warranted. Okay, so we've got the Jedi Revan team, and this is kind of a lopsided squad because we don't have any Gear 12. We have Gear 11s and we have Gear 13s. Not super high relics, though Jolie apparently. Sim, the guy who runs this account, he's a good man. He could, he apparently threw extra relic levels on Jolie, which I don't really protest. It's just funny to see he's got more relics than my alternate account has, than my Professor X account, because he does enjoy having extra relic levels. And this team works really well. I put it on defense usually, though, guys, because even though it's decently efficient, the one constant that I keep facing is people put such a crazy defense against me because they see what a low-level account I am, that I need to put teams. I can usually stop people from full clearing me. As crazy as that sounds, with this account, I usually stop people from full clearing me. That doesn't always happen, but the only way that happens is if I put strong enough teams on defense to really make them struggle. If they fail one time, a lot of times that's enough to topple the whole tower. And if I do that, a lot of times that means I can put total garbage in my back zone, and then I don't have to worry about them full clearing, and then I can use the better teams on offense. So yeah, Jedi Revan is on defense a lot because people don't know how to deal with him. Once they start dealing with him more efficiently, I'll probably bring him to offense. But just like Darth Revan, it's very difficult at this level to replace the output of a Jedi Revan team. And frankly, my Commander Luke team is going to have more range on offense than Jedi Revan does anyways, at this point anyways. So then we have Kira with Nest, and I'm really excited about my new addition to the family. We just got Hermit Yoda unlocked, and he's only Gear 7, and he'll die pretty easy, but the awesome thing is he'll do his master's training on Enfys Nest, and then Enfys Nest will have an additional 25% potency and tenacity. She'll have an extra 25% offense as well, and she's just going to be a lot stronger. Like the master's training is a really, really nice buff. That's not it. Master's training gives plus 25%. Enfys isn't a Jedi, so it's not doubled. She gets more accuracy, which she doesn't need, but then extra defense is nice, offense, potency, tenacity, and it's just nice. Hermit Yoda dies, and the buff is just perpetual, and so Kira will give her buffs, Hermit will give his buffs, and then they'll both die. Sometimes we'll have Watt here as well. And the whole thing is the Nest can do a pseudo solo on someone and be able to consistently do it. Like, yes, we'll drop a lot of banners if we do it this way. Hermit Yoda will cost me 3. And then, of course, Kira will cost 3 as well. And then if Watt is here, he'll cost another 3. But sometimes I'm going to be facing a team that's fully relicked, and I just need to survive long enough to be able to solo them. And so I don't expect Hermit Yoda to always go with Enfys Nest, but it's kind of a nice one. We need to get the Zeta on Hermit, but there's a ton of different things we got to work on this account. So Enfys Nest, really good at soloing teams. A lot of times I'll just use only Enfys Nest. It's just another tool in the toolbox, folks. Next we have General Grievous and company. I mean, you guys have seen this on all my accounts. I love this team on offense, love it on defense. This kills Sith Eternal and Jedi Master Luke sometimes, depending on what comp they're bringing. And I like to have Relic B1 just because he does a lot of extra damage. Every time someone on the team attacks, he gets to attack, and so getting his offense is pretty nice. Not to mention he heals them as well, the whole team. So he deserves his relics. I don't know if he deserves more relics than Grievous. Dear Lord, that's kind of silly. But otherwise, Newt at low relics or low gear is really nice actually, because he dies early, but then he revives himself. And, we have the Zeta on him and everything, so it's all good. But he revives himself, and then Grievous gets everything started with with a quick blender attack, and you're off to the races. One of the things I would love to get, and we'll probably end up getting him geared here pretty soon, is Magna Guard, just because he's going to... we don't want him to die as early as he usually does at Gear 9. But we need him to... close to relics at the very least if we're going to unlock General Skywalker, which we're pretty close to now. So now we have Bosk. This bounty hunter team is actually one that we're 2 pieces away from having the Fett bros up to Gear 13, and then eventually we're going to break them off actually, and we're going to add Aura Singh and Zam to their number. We're going to get the Omicron onto Zam, and then this team is going to start really, really punching up. We need a consistent counter to Darth Revan, and this is the team for it, guys. This is the team we want. So just put the Zeta onto Mando, not for his lead, because we're going to use Aura lead for the most part. We need another Zeta on Grief, and then otherwise we're set. We have all the other Zetas that we need. We're going to kick these bros off. They can go at Gear 13. They can go join a lot of different squads, and I'll show you guys that in subsequent seasons. It'll be epic. Don't you worry. At this current stage, this team is basically... it's like one really unfortunate targeting away from disaster. So Grief kind of stays in stealth the whole time. He's tough to kill anyways. He's a resilient dude on his own. Mando, of course, needs a lot of babysitting, but he does have an extra life in the form of Bounty Hunter's Resolve, which is nice, though he can't really regrow it. So the idea is to eventually get your contract and have him disintegrate them. And the reason I put the Zeta on was I wanted everyone to gain more turn meter whenever he did a crit, so everyone will gain 15% turn meter every time Mando crits, and he does crit quite a bit. Not that I'm trying to rhyme, but not that would expose my wit or anything. But anyways, we'll use Mando to crit with Grief and Bosk's mass assists, obviously when he takes his turns, and so he'll get more gear here pretty soon. My guess is that by the start of next season, this team will be mostly good to go, and Boba and Jango will have new homes. Hopefully, that's the plan anyways. We talked to Sim about that today, because we're gonna back burner General Skywalker until we have enough GET1 to get him to 7 stars, and we need a Darth Revan counter on this account. So, offense team almost all the way. Not to mention, they cleaned up a Sith Eternal Emperor the other day real nicely. I was very impressed by these boys. They did really cool, really good work. Nice job, boys. Have fun storming the castle. Alright, we've got this really lopsided Night Sisters squad, and I don't want a single ounce of gear more on any of them except for maybe Asajj, because she wants to stay alive and ramp her damage, but gear 12 is probably enough. You just want, and this is another example of I have a better thing on my Prevail Man account than my Professor X account, you want her to be around 125k health, and she is. Relic 5 is going to do that for you. And then the rest of the team just dies over and over again. You put the Zeta on Old Daka, though, so she gains more and more health. And this squad last season killed so many Grievous squads and Geonosian squads that it was truly remarkable. Yeah, and it's really nice. You just throw these 4 Zetas on, which is, I admit, a pretty heavy price tag for how many gear levels you have. But then you don't need more gear levels than this. You manage these fully relic Grievous squads easily because old Daka refuses to die. She's a tough old bird, folks. Now we have the Padme squad. Okay, so Shaak Ti is the one that we're double dipping on here, guys, because as you can see, we have a fledgling, and this is very fledgling. Shaak Ti with the 501st clones. They're all pretty low gear. 5s, of course. He apparently Sim put one of the Zetas on. That's cool. Which is warranted, frankly. Don't put this one. This is actually really nice to leave off, folks. Don't put this Omega on because he taunts when he does this. You don't want him to taunt. You want him to call people to assist, but you don't want him to taunt because you want him to, when he sacrifices himself, and this is the one that good. I'm glad that he picked the right Zeta. Whew! I trust Sim, actually, but every once in a while you're like, oh man. I mean, both of his Zetas are very good, folks. That's probably going to be the next Zeta on this squad, at least. But 5s, wow, he's even 1 gear away from gear 12. That is fantastic, actually. He's got a good ship. Let's see if he upgraded the ship, if we've upgraded the ship. Yeah, he's as upgraded as he can be. Anyways, he's got a good ship. He's got... This whole squad is pretty good, and especially under Shaak Ti, it's pretty good. But the thing is, with Padme and Gideon here, guys, this is the Gidme squad. I've been using it a lot on this account, especially because we need to kill Darth Revan teams, and I don't really have a great counter for them to one-shot them. Sometimes you can use Qui-Gon to do that, and we do have that team, but they're also low gear. I like to have more of a guarantee. So this squad will snipe out Dark Basti, basically. And if you don't have to take out Dark Basti, then you can do more, just because Gideon gives all of the support characters, which is going to be Shock, R2-D2, and Padme, it gives them 100% of his protection up. Gosh, I'm tired, guys. I apologize. But it gives them all protection up. That translates into courage, and then you do % health damage based off of your opponent's health, and Padme and R2-D2 and Shaak Ti all one-shot people, and then Kenobi's there just to hang out and be a pilot, and also to have a beard, because you need to... No, I don't know. He's also there to keep order, to keep people from killing Padme too quickly. Otherwise, Shaak Ti will probably go with the clones. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do, but this is too low gear on the clones right now. Anyways, people are going to run over them, so I'll probably end up with these guys on offense, though I don't know what they'll kill yet. They don't have any Zetas on them, including on Shock, so I don't know. This is a... Maybe this is a good team on defense, but then if they're on defense, then I don't get to have the flexibility of using Shock on the Gidme squad. So that's something I'll have to solve, but that's why we're double dipping there, guys. Next, we have the Palpy, Vader, Mara team, and this, they'll kill Geos or... an equivalent team. They do so much with the turn meter gain, though, guys, with the turn meter shenanigans. And Mara should probably get both of her Zetas at some point, but we're so Zeta poor. I mean, the Shock squad could use, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Zetas just on their own, and then General Skywalker is another 4 if I want to do that. So that's 10, and I have 0 to give right now. I have 0, so Mara Jade's just gonna have to wait a little bit. She might, we're farming her. She'll get there. Once she's a 7 stars, all bets are off. We might get her to, gear 12 or 13 and start, make an actual team out of it. Because Palpy with Mara Jade and Vader is actually kind of a cool off-meta counter to a lot of Rey teams, which I'm just now starting to appreciate. So we're going to have to pay more attention to that counter as well. In fact, maybe I should accelerate the farming on her a little bit, now that I'm thinking about it. So, next we have Qui-Gon with Anakin and Ahsoka. And, Qui-Gon, he's really easy to get to Gear 11, folks. So you put the Omicron on him, and then Anakin is only Relic 1. Ahsoka's only Relic 1. But this team has never failed me so far, I think. Unless it was an unreasonable ask. But this team usually kills Darth Revan teams, though usually I've softened them up with Gidmay and everything. So, anyways, this team, offense only, folks. Same with the Palp team. And, yeah, this team does some serious work, especially at this level, at this gear level, at this account level, blah, blah, blah. So we do have the Ewok team, and I have to say, guys, I'm a little disappointed in how they've performed. I put the Omicron on this one and on my alternate account as well, and you guys can listen to my thoughts on Ewoks on my alternate account, on my Professor X video, but at the end of the day, I think I'm going to be slowing Peplu down a little bit. I need to get him another gear level, frankly. That seems warranted. But then I've made my Peplu ludicrous speed because of his unique here. He gains 25% speed whenever he doesn't have taunt, but the 25% speed, it's all hidden. So he's at 277. He's gaining 25% speed on top of that. And 100 plus 155 is a crazy amount of speed for this account, for this level. And then he gains another 30 speed from Chirpa. So he's not quite, I don't think, 400 speed, but he's kind of close. And you can kind of use him to pre-taunt as well. But I'm gonna slow him down because the squad's not performing at the level that it needs to be for having that level of speed set on this account. I need to put him to use, those mods to use elsewhere. Though this squad can do well on defense and on offense. People usually, if they want to underestimate it, they do it to their detriment and folly. And sometimes this team will get 3 or 4 holds. Sometimes it'll just hold forever because people underestimate it. Or someone uses Nest and gets perfect banners against it. So it just depends. On offense, that's the issue. You just don't do enough damage fast enough and you end up timing out. So I don't know, probably mostly on offense this season. We'll have to see. Now, my Karth team, we did put a Zeta on mission because this Karth team is suddenly, because we had to unlock Malak, it's one of my best squads. It's gear 12 throughout, except for Droideka, who's just randomly tagging along, because why not? Droideka needs a home, and he doesn't, he doesn't suck with this squad, but put that Zeta on mission. Probably you should put one on Zalbar and, I don't know, Karth I don't think I'll do, but this team can get some holds. It's decent. They do some decent stuff, honestly, and you don't need a ton of really amazing mods for them. You just need, the basic mods, and so it'll go on defense. It might get a hold or two. It might surprise you. This team is surprisingly strong, actually. People look down on it, but it does okay. It does okay. I'm not saying it's a world beater, but I'll tell you the team that is a world beater is this stupid. Gosh, it's so stupid. This trooper team. Veers is now gear 10, apparently. And the rest of them are 9. And I consistently kill Relic bounty hunters. Because as long as your Piet is fast enough, and then you have another character that's fast enough to bridge that speed, then you'll run the table on them and they won't even take a turn. So usual targets are going to be bounty hunters here. So 257 with Veer's lead, he's 277. That is not super fast, but at gear 9, that's all we can really afford right now. And, you put a couple Zetas. You need the Zeta on Veers, and then the one on Dark Trooper and the 2 on Piet are pretty warranted. And then gear 7 on Stark and Range. It's kind of a mess, but it's a necessary mess, folks. This team punches way above their weight limit. They don't just kill gear 9 teams. Sometimes they'll kill gear 11, 12, even 13, like I said, bounty hunters, as long as you're faster. And a lot of people in AURODIUM don't understand the value of speed. In fact, the last couple groups I've been in, it's been quite hilarious how outdone most of my opponents are mod-wise. Even though we don't put a ton of effort into our mods on this account, frankly, because this is my alt's alt, and Sim, this isn't his main account. So, all right, we've got Geos. They're there. I mean, the nice thing about having him low gear is, I mean, people don't really fail on him that often, but the nice thing about it is Geo Brood Alpha she more than doubles their health and protection. So they'll get plus 15,000 max health and protection. So look at this, gear 9 on Soldier, and I mean, more than doubles the protection and almost doubles the health on this guy. Geo Spy does double, like triples the protection. Like this team isn't that super resilient, but at this point it's just running off of the good graces of that Geo Brood Alpha. So something to keep in mind. We also have the Omicron Akbar team, and they all take a bunch of turns. None of them are relic or anything, but the team does well. Leia's not ready to put her Omicron on. Before I put 2 Omicrons on one squad, I need at least a couple characters to be somewhere approaching gear 13. But Chopper's nice. He's a taunt-er, as you might expect. Obi-Wan Kenobi, old Ben. He does some good work. A lot of, and then Biggs, he's like, well, I do the damage, I guess. So good squad. It hits way above their gear level, though their gear level isn't high enough. And frankly, this isn't a trooper squad. This doesn't beat the world like troopers do. So something to keep in mind. Darth Treya and company. I mean, this is just a hodgepodge, right? Like, we don't even have Scion up and running. We have Crew here just because we needed his ship to be around and good. So because we're trying to unlock Finalizer as quick as we can to start farming Finalizer. And because I'm gonna be in Kyber eventually, guys. It's not gonna last being in AURODIUM, I don't think. Maybe for a few more seasons, but we'll eventually break loose. Once we get into Kyber, it's gonna be a huge mess for ships. So Treya, all these guys. I don't know. This is kind of. This team will probably end up disintegrating multiple times in all of my different fights. Like, I'll end up with Treya. I'll be like, oh, Treya can go with, like, Nest and be the Treya lead. Or, she can be the lead for Nest, and then she'll die. But she'll end up doing some good stuff before that. The squad does okay. Just, it doesn't do anything amazing. But they're all good role players, at the very least. We have, for the final squads, kind of the garbage squads, guys. So I do have Jin here on the Phoenix squad, because we've rented out all of our other Phoenix. We have Chopper on the Akbar team and Ezra on the Jedi team. So Jin is good because she can revive her fellow men. Though I don't know if we've put that. Gosh, she's only relic. The problem is, guys, like we're starting to run out of mats as well. Let me see if does she have the revive here? Yeah, she does have the revive. That's cool. So she'll revive other rebels. She does okay. She's not inspired. She's fine. But I mean, the value for this Phoenix squad is we have Sabine with her Zeta, and it can mess with people. So, though actually, come to think of it, does she need to be in a fully Phoenix squad for this to work? Let's see. For each active Phoenix ally. Okay, so I guess we could put a Mando character on in this squad. Maybe we'll put Jango with this squad next. I don't know. Once Jango's free, maybe because then she'll have a better grenade. I don't know. That seems pretty weird. And then we have the Dash team because we're trying to unlock what's his name, Bando, and so all these guys are geared to some small degree, and they do okay work. This isn't a world beater team either. They might steal some banners though, and that's the important part, guys. Throw this on defense, and they're all scoundrels. They do some good work, and at the end of the day, that's all you can ask from them. So, what squads do you want to run in AURODIUM 3? What's your situation in AURODIUM? I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails.